At Abu Dhabi's World Future Energy Summit, dignitaries, lecturers, scientists, and investors have all gathered to tackle the dangers of global warming and champion the benefits of renewable energy. But one participant's call to action is louder than most.
If we don't act now, my island nation will be submerged by the rising sea. As we all know, the world needs to find alternative energy sources. We cannot go on polluting the atmosphere with carbon. It is just simply not possible. We all know that if it reaches anything above 350 parts per million, world temperatures are going to rise, and that is going to cause all sorts of problems. Most of these things we can't even imagine now.
Even harder for some to fathom is the scale of the environmental catastrophe Maldivian President Mohamed Nasheed's country is facing.
For us, climate change is not some issue in the future. It's happening now. There's erosion. Number of islanders are having to move their homes, and it's very challenging for them. At the same time, ocean temperatures are changing, and therefore that's having a major impact on our fishery.
The problems don't stop there. The Maldives, an archipelago of almost 1,200 coral islands southwest of India, is also facing the possibility that it could go underwater if the current pace of climate change keeps raising sea levels. Most of the Maldives lie just about 5 feet or 1.5 meters above sea level, while the country's capital, Male, is protected by seawalls. Creating a similar barrier around the rest of the country would be cost prohibitive. President Nasheed brought this issue to the world's attention last October when he chaired an underwater cabinet meeting. The outcome of the session was a declaration calling for global cuts in carbon emissions, a plea he has also brought to Abu Dhabi. A promoter of solar energy and wind farm initiatives, President Nasheed believes the Maldives can be transformed into the first carbon-neutral country.
We feel that if it is possible in the Maldives with such modest means, it is very, very possible elsewhere. We don't necessarily have to make it so futuristic, in a sense, building new cities, but just to power existing households. I think that's quite possible.
President Nasheed is also looking at other options. Soon after being elected, he raised the possibility of finding a new homeland for his country's residents. Now, the tourist nation wants to set aside part of its annual billion-dollar revenue for buying a new homeland.
We have to be able to save for a rainy day. And if worse comes to worse, we should be in a situation where we are able to take care of our own people. When the whole world actually wakes up to this, and when half the world becomes climate refugees, it's going to be very difficult for us to find someone who would take care of 350,000 Maldivians. So if we are responsible politicians, we should be having this conversation now. So we are.
Mohammed Jamjoom, CNN, Abu Dhabi.